The year was 2135, when the skies over Earth darkened with the arrival of the Xalnagas. Their mothership, an immense structure bristling with advanced weaponry and technology, cast a shadow over cities across the globe. Panic ensued as news spread like wildfire. Earth was under attack by an alien force beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. In New York City, the first wave of Xalnaga fighters descended, their sleek silver crafts emitting beams of energy that obliterated buildings and defenses alike. The United Earth Defense Force, UEDF, scrambled to respond, but their conventional weaponry was no match for the Xalnaga's superior technology. Fighter jets were swatted from the sky, and tanks were reduced to molten metal. Major David Foster, a seasoned UEDF officer, led a desperate defense in Manhattan. "Hold the line," he shouted over the roar of destruction. His command post was a chaotic scene of flashing screens and frantic personnel. Despite their best efforts, it was clear they were fighting a losing battle. In the midst of the chaos, civilians fled in terror, their faces etched with fear and despair. Among them was Emily Carter, a young journalist who had been covering a local story when the invasion began. She captured footage of the destruction, broadcasting it live to the world. Her voice trembled as she reported, "This is Emily Carter, coming to you from New York City. The Xalnagas are here, and our defenses are crumbling. God help us all." The Xalnagas moved swiftly, their forces spreading like a plague across the planet. Major cities fell one by one: London, Tokyo, Moscow. The invaders showed no mercy, enslaving populations and establishing brutal regimes to enforce their dominance. Within weeks, Earth was under complete Xalnaga control. Amidst the ruins of civilization, whispers of resistance began to stir. People spoke of underground movements, secret networks working to undermine the alien overlords. But for now, hope seemed a distant dream. The Xalnagas had come to conquer, and humanity's survival hung by a thread. The Xalnagas wasted no time in implementing their plans for humanity. In a massive, heavily guarded facility deep within the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Malakar, a Xalnaga scientist of great renown, began his grim work. His mission: to hack the human genome and transform humans into obedient servants. The facility was a stark contrast to the world outside, filled with gleaming instruments and advanced technology. Rows of glass pods lined the walls, each containing a human subject in suspended animation. Dr. Malakar moved methodically between them, his four eyes glinting with a mix of curiosity and cold detachment. "Begin Phase 1, he commanded in his guttural Xalnaga tongue. His assistants, a team of genetically enhanced subordinates, activated the machinery. Laser-like beams penetrated the pods, altering the DNA of the subjects within. The process was invasive and painful, designed to rewire the very essence of what made them human. Among the first batch of subjects was Leo Ramirez, a former engineer captured during the initial invasion. He writhed in agony as his body underwent the radical changes. His muscles expanded, and his senses heightened. Unknown to the Xalnagas, a unique anomaly in Leo's genetic makeup caused an unexpected reaction. Elsewhere in the facility, Sarah Kim, a once timid artist, experienced similar torment. Her mind expanded, unlocking latent abilities she never knew existed. The Xalnagas, focused on their goal of creating subservient beings, failed to notice the emergence of these extraordinary powers. Days turned into weeks as the experiments continued. Some subjects succumbed to the alterations, their bodies unable to handle the strain. But a handful, like Leo and Sarah, began to adapt and thrive. Their abilities grew stronger, and they started to communicate telepathically, forming a bond that transcended their dire circumstances. "We need to find a way out of here," Leo's thoughts echoed in Sarah's mind. "We can't let them turn us into monsters." Sarah nodded, her resolve hardening. "We'll escape, and we'll fight back. They don't know what they've unleashed." The Xalnaga's attempt to create a docile slave race was inadvertently giving rise to a new breed of superhumans. The seeds of resistance were being sown within the very walls of their laboratory, and the first stirrings of rebellion began to take root. In the dimly lit corners of the facility, the first signs of awakening began to surface. Leo and Sarah, along with a few others, had been clandestinely sharing their experiences and abilities. They communicated through fleeting glances and telepathic whispers, careful to avoid the ever-watchful eyes of their captors. One night, Leo found himself in an isolated chamber, his heart pounding as he concentrated. He had been experimenting with his newfound strength, trying to understand its limits. As he focused, he felt a surge of energy course through his body. With a deep breath, he struck the metal wall with his fist. The impact left a sizable dent, and Leo grinned with a mix of amazement and satisfaction. Sarah, on the other hand, discovered her ability to manipulate electromagnetic fields during a routine checkup. Strapped to a machine, she felt a tingling sensation in her fingertips. With a small gesture, she short-circuited the device monitoring her vitals. The lights flickered, and the machinery sparked, prompting the Xalnaga technicians to scurry in confusion. The small victories bolstered their confidence. Leo, Sarah, and the others began meeting in secret, devising a plan to escape. Among them were Mia, a nurse who could phase through solid objects, and Raj, a teacher with telepathic abilities. Each brought unique strengths to the group, and together they formed a bond of solidarity and hope. One evening, during a rare moment of downtime, Leo addressed the group. "We've been given these abilities for a reason. We can't stay here and let them control us. We need to fight back, for ourselves and for humanity." Sarah nodded in agreement. "We're stronger together. We've seen what they're capable of, but they don't know what we can do. It's time to turn the tables." The group trained in secret, honing their powers and developing strategies. They knew the risks were high, but their determination outweighed their fear. The Xalnagas had unwittingly created a force that could challenge their dominance, and the awakened were ready to rise. The night of the escape had finally arrived. The awakened moved with precision, their hearts pounding with anticipation. Leo led the charge, using his immense strength to silently dispatch guards and create paths through the facility's fortified walls. Sarah, with her control over electromagnetic fields, disabled surveillance systems and communication devices, ensuring their movements remained undetected. Mia phased through locked doors, scouting ahead and relaying information back to the group. Raj used his telepathy to coordinate their actions, keeping everyone in sync. As they progressed deeper into the facility, they encountered other captives who had also undergone genetic modifications. Some were frightened and disoriented, but Leo and Sarah offered them a choice: join the resistance and fight for freedom. Word of the escape spread quickly, and more awakened began to emerge from their confinement. The facility, once a prison, was now a battleground. The Xalnagas, caught off guard by the sudden uprising, scrambled to contain the situation. Dr. Malakar, furious at the unexpected turn of events, ordered his enforcers to crush the rebellion. In the chaos, the awakened fought with newfound confidence. Leo's strength and Sarah's abilities were instrumental in leading the charge, but it was the collective effort of the group that made the difference. Mia phased through walls to sabotage critical systems, while Raj used his telepathy to anticipate enemy movements and coordinate counterattacks. The battle reached its climax in the central control room, where Dr. Malakar had taken refuge. The room was a hub of alien technology, with holographic displays and intricate machinery. Leo and Sarah led a final assault, confronting the Xalnaga scientist. "You've underestimated us," Leo said, his voice filled with resolve. "You thought you could control us, but you've only made us stronger." Dr. Malakar sneered, his eyes glinting with malice. "You are nothing more than experiments gone wrong. I will correct this mistake." As he activated a defense mechanism, Sarah reacted swiftly, using her powers to overload the system. Sparks flew, and the machinery erupted in a shower of electrical discharges. Leo charged forward, his fist connecting with Malakar in a powerful blow that sent the alien scientist crashing to the floor. With the control room compromised and Dr. Malakar incapacitated, the facility's defenses crumbled. The remaining Xalnagas, now leaderless and disoriented, were swiftly overpowered by the awakened. The resistance had won a significant victory, and the first stronghold of the alien conquerors had fallen. As dawn broke, the awakened stood together, their spirits lifted by their hard-fought success. They knew this was just the beginning of their fight, but it was a crucial step toward reclaiming their planet. The resistance had grown, and with it, the hope for humanity's survival and ultimate triumph. The Resistance's first significant victory ignited a flame of hope across the beleaguered remnants of human society. The news of the fall of the Xalnaga facility spread rapidly, inspiring more to join the cause. Leo, Sarah, and their comrades began organizing their next move, focusing on a critical Xalnaga research facility that was central to the aliens' operations. Located deep within the Amazon rainforest, this facility was heavily guarded and rumored to house advanced weaponry and genetic research crucial to the Xalnaga's control over humanity. The resistance leaders knew that striking this facility would deal a crippling blow to the alien invaders. Preparations were meticulous. The awakened trained relentlessly, honing their abilities and strategizing every detail of the mission. Leo's strength and Sarah's electromagnetic powers were complemented by Mia's phasing abilities and Raj's telepathy. They were joined by others like Olivia, who could generate force fields, and Hassan, who possessed incredible agility and reflexes. On the night of the attack, the resistance moved swiftly through the dense jungle, their approach masked by the cover of darkness and the thick canopy. They reached the perimeter of the facility, a sprawling complex of high-tech buildings and alien machinery. Leo signaled the start of the operation, and the team sprang into action. Olivia projected a force field, shielding the group from the initial barrage of defensive fire. Hassan darted ahead, his speed allowing him to disable key security nodes before the guards could react. Sarah focused her powers, disrupting the facility's energy grid and plunging sections of the complex into darkness. Inside the facility, chaos erupted. The Xalnaga soldiers, unprepared for such a coordinated assault, struggled to mount an effective defense. The awakened moved with precision and coordination, their abilities allowing them to outmaneuver and overpower the alien forces. Leo and Mia led a team to the central research lab, where they encountered fierce resistance. The lab was a hub of advanced genetic experiments, with rows of containment units and sophisticated equipment. Leo's brute strength cleared a path, while Mia phased through walls to surprise and incapacitate the guards. In the heart of the lab, they found the lead Xalnaga scientist, Karoth, frantically trying to secure vital data. Leo confronted him, demanding answers. "What have you been doing here? What are your plans for humanity?" Karoth sneered, his eyes filled with contempt. "You cannot comprehend the greatness of the Xalnaga. Your resistance is futile." Before Karoth could activate a self-destruct sequence, Sarah intervened, using her electromagnetic powers to disable the controls. Leo subdued the scientist, and the team began extracting as much data as they could. They discovered detailed plans for future experiments and information on the Xalnaga's vulnerabilities. With the facility in disarray, the resistance planted charges throughout the complex. As they retreated into the jungle, the charges detonated, and the facility was engulfed in a series of powerful explosions. The night sky lit up with the fiery demise of one of the Xalnaga's critical strongholds. The resistance had struck a decisive blow, but they knew the fight was far from over. The Xalnagas would retaliate, but for now, the Awakened had shown the world that victory was possible. Flush with the success of their recent mission, the resistance leaders gathered to analyze the data recovered from the Amazon facility. The information revealed the existence of a hidden Xalnaga base in the Siberian wilderness, where the aliens were conducting some of their most secretive and advanced genetic experiments. This base was believed to be integral to their plans for creating a new, more controllable human species. The journey to Siberia was fraught with challenges. The harsh, frozen landscape was a stark contrast to the lush jungles of the Amazon. The resistance moved cautiously, navigating through snow-covered forests and treacherous terrain. Their arrival at the base, a concealed fortress built into the side of a mountain, marked the beginning of a daring infiltration mission. Leo, Sarah, and their team scouted the perimeter, identifying weak points and guard patrols. The base was heavily fortified, with layers of security designed to thwart any intrusion. The Resistance devised a multi-pronged strategy, combining stealth and brute force. As night fell, the operation commenced. Mia phased through the outer defenses, bypassing electronic sensors and opening a secure passage for the team. Hassan used his agility to silently take down sentries, while Olivia's force fields protected them from surveillance drones. Inside the base, the team split into smaller units to cover more ground. Leo and Sarah headed towards the main research wing, where they hoped to find the core of the Xalnaga's genetic operations. The corridors were lined with advanced technology and alien symbols, a testament to the Xalnaga's technological prowess. In the research wing, they encountered fierce resistance. The Xalnaga soldiers, equipped with enhanced weaponry, fought to defend their stronghold. Leo's strength was put to the test as he battled through the ranks, while Sarah's electromagnetic pulses disrupted their advanced weapon systems. In the heart of the research wing, they found the primary laboratory, a cavernous room filled with containment pods and complex machinery. Dr. Talira, another prominent Xalnaga scientist, was overseeing a new series of experiments. She turned to face them, her expression a mix of anger and disdain. "You meddling humans will not thwart our plans," she hissed, activating a series of defensive drones. Sarah stepped forward, her powers surging. "Your experiments end here." A fierce battle ensued. Leo and Sarah, joined by Mia and Raj, fought against the drones and Talira's guards. The room crackled with energy as Sarah's electromagnetic pulses clashed with the alien technology. Leo's brute force dismantled the drones, while Mia phased through attacks, delivering precise strikes. Raj, using his telepathy, created a psychic link with Talira, attempting to delve into her mind. He uncovered the base's secrets, including the Xalnaga's ultimate goal: to merge their DNA with humans, creating a hybrid species loyal only to them. With this revelation, the Resistance knew they had to destroy the base. They set charges around the laboratory, targeting the critical infrastructure. As they made their escape, the charges detonated, and the hidden base erupted in a massive explosion, sending shockwaves through the mountain. The destruction of the Siberian base was a monumental victory. The Resistance had disrupted the Xalnaga's most secretive operations and uncovered their sinister plans. The battle had been hard fought, but the Awakened emerged stronger and more united. As they regrouped and tended to their wounds, Leo addressed the team. "We've struck a major blow today, but our fight is far from over. We now know their plans, and we will do everything in our power to stop them, for humanity, for our future." The Resistance had grown, both in numbers and in resolve. The war against the Xalnagas continued, but with each victory, the Awakened brought humanity one step closer to reclaiming their world. In the aftermath of the Siberian base's destruction, the Resistance analyzed the data they had retrieved. The files were a treasure trove of information, revealing not only the Xalnaga's plans, but also potential weaknesses. One particularly intriguing piece of data indicated that the Xalnagas were vulnerable to specific frequencies of sound waves. This discovery prompted the Resistance to develop a weapon that could exploit this weakness. Leo, Sarah, and their team convened at a hidden Resistance base in the Swiss Alps. The secluded location provided a safe haven where they could strategize and develop their new weapon. The base was a hive of activity, with engineers, scientists, and awakened individuals working together. Dr. Evelyn Carter, a former biophysicist, took the lead in developing the sound-based weapon. "We need to find the precise frequency that disrupts their nervous system," she explained to the group. "Once we have that, we can create devices to emit those frequencies." While the scientists worked on the weapon, Leo and Sarah focused on strengthening the Resistance's network. They traveled to various resistance cells, rallying support and sharing their findings. The information about the Xalnaga's vulnerability galvanized the Resistance, giving them a tangible hope for victory. During one of their missions, Leo and Sarah encountered a small village in the Balkans that had been under Xalnaga occupation. The villagers, tired and oppressed, were skeptical of the Resistance's claims. To prove their intentions, Leo demonstrated his superhuman strength by lifting a fallen tree blocking the village road. while Sarah used her electromagnetic abilities to restore power to their dilapidated homes. Seeing the Awakened's powers firsthand, the villagers were inspired. An elderly man named Petar stepped forward, his voice trembling with emotion. "We've lived in fear for too long. If you can truly defeat these invaders, we will stand with you." Back at the Swiss base, Dr. Carter's team made a breakthrough. They identified the specific frequency range that affected the Xalnagas and began constructing portable devices capable of emitting these sound waves. The resistance leaders gathered to witness the first test. In a large underground chamber, a captured Xalnaga soldier was restrained. Dr. Carter activated the device, and a high-pitched sound filled the room. The Xalnaga convulsed, its movements erratic as the sound waves disrupted its nervous system. Within moments, the alien was incapacitated. The room erupted in cheers. The weapon worked, and the resistance now had a powerful tool to level the playing field. Leo addressed the crowd, his voice filled with determination. "This is a game changer. We've proven that we can hurt them, and now we'll take the fight to their doorstep." With the new weapon in their arsenal, the resistance intensified their efforts to rally more survivors. Leo, Sarah, and their team embarked on a worldwide journey, reaching out to hidden enclaves and underground communities. Their message was clear. The time to strike back was now. In the ruins of Paris, the resistance encountered a group of survivors led by a former military officer, Captain Renard. His group had been conducting guerrilla operations against the Xalnagas, but struggled to make significant headway. Leo and Sarah demonstrated the new weapon, instantly earning Renard's trust. "We've been fighting in the dark," Renard said, shaking Leo's hand. "But with this, we have a real chance. Count us in." The resistance's numbers swelled as they continued their journey. In the deserts of Australia, they found a resilient community led by Aisha, a skilled tactician who had kept her people safe through cunning and resourcefulness. In the frozen tundras of Canada, they discovered a group of scientists who had been working on countermeasures against the Xalnaga technology. At each stop, the Awakened demonstrated their abilities and the effectiveness of the new weapon. The survivors, inspired by the possibility of victory, pledged their support. The resistance became a global network, united by a common goal. In a remote meeting held via secure communications, resistance leaders from around the world coordinated their efforts. Leo, Sarah, and the other Awakened shared their strategies and intel, ensuring that each cell was prepared for the battles to come. The plan was ambitious: a simultaneous assault on multiple Xalnaga strongholds to stretch their defenses thin and deliver a decisive blow. As the day of the coordinated attack approached, the resistance trained tirelessly. The new recruits, inspired by the Awakened, pushed themselves to their limits. Engineers refined the sound-based weapons, making them more portable and powerful. Medics prepared for the inevitable casualties, and strategists mapped out every detail of the operation. On the eve of the assault, Leo stood before a gathering of resistance fighters in the Swiss Alps. The night was cold, and the air was filled with anticipation. "Tomorrow we make history," he declared. "Tomorrow we show the Xalnagas that humanity will not bow down. We fight for our freedom, for our future, and for every soul they've oppressed. Let's make them regret ever setting foot on our planet." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted by Leo's words. The resistance was ready, united in purpose, and driven by the hope of reclaiming their world. The dawn of the final battle was on the horizon, and humanity's fate hung in the balance. The day of the final assault arrived. Resistance cells across the globe prepared to launch simultaneous attacks on key Xalnaga strongholds. The air was thick with anticipation and determination. Leo, Sarah, and their team were stationed at the primary target, the Xalnaga mothership hovering over Washington, D.C. This colossal vessel served as the nerve center of the alien occupation on Earth. As the first light of dawn broke through the clouds, the resistance began their coordinated assault. The sound-based weapons, meticulously tuned to the frequency that disrupted Xalnaga nervous systems, were deployed. Leo led the charge, his heart pounding with the weight of the mission ahead. "Move, move, move," he shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. The resistance fighters advanced with a mixture of fear and fierce resolve. Portable sound emitters were strategically placed around the mothership, creating a perimeter that would disable any Xalnaga who ventured too close. Sarah, focusing her electromagnetic abilities, disrupted the ship's defensive systems, causing lights to flicker and alarms to blare. The resistance fighters took advantage of the confusion, breaching the mothership's hull with explosive charges. Inside the massive vessel, the battle intensified. The Xalnagas, caught off guard by the effectiveness of the human weaponry, struggled to mount a cohesive defense. Leo, using his superhuman strength, smashed through barriers and engaged alien soldiers head-on. His fists were a blur, each punch sending shockwaves through the alien ranks. Sarah, alongside Olivia and Raj, pushed deeper into the ship. Olivia's force fields deflected enemy fire, while Raj used his telepathy to sow chaos among the Xalnaga ranks. The resistance moved like a well-oiled machine, each member playing their part with precision and bravery. As they fought their way towards the control center, the resistance encountered Dr. Malakar, the Xalnaga scientist who had initiated the genetic experiments on humanity. He stood before them, flanked by elite alien guards. "You think you can defeat us?" Malakar snarled, his eyes burning with fury. "We are the superior race. You are nothing but pests." Sarah stepped forward, her powers crackling with energy. "You made us what we are, and now we're taking our planet back." A fierce battle ensued. The elite guards were formidable, their advanced weaponry and combat skills testing the resistance to their limits. Leo and Sarah fought side by side, their synergy a testament to the bond they had formed through countless battles. In a climactic showdown, Leo confronted Malakar. The Xalnaga scientist fought with desperation, but Leo's strength and determination were unmatched. With a final, thunderous punch, Leo sent Malakar crashing into a console, incapacitating him. With Malakar defeated, Sarah focused her energy on the mothership's main systems. Using her electromagnetic powers, she overloaded the ship's core, setting off a chain reaction. "We need to get out, now!" she shouted. The resistance fighters raced against time, retreating through the damaged corridors as the mothership began to implode. Explosions rocked the vessel and fires spread rapidly. Leo, Sarah, and the others barely made it to their extraction point as the ship started to disintegrate. From the ground, the sight was awe-inspiring. The Xalnaga mothership, once a symbol of alien dominance, was engulfed in flames, breaking apart and falling from the sky. Cheers erupted from the resistance forces, their spirits lifted by the sight of their enemy's downfall. With the destruction of the mothership, the tide of the war shifted dramatically. The coordinated assaults on other Xalnaga strongholds worldwide were equally successful, thanks to the new weapons and the unity of the resistance. The alien forces, leaderless and disoriented, began to crumble. In the following weeks, the resistance worked tirelessly to mop up the remaining Xalnaga forces. The victory at Washington, D.C. had been pivotal, but there was still much to do. Cities needed rebuilding, and the scars of the invasion ran deep. Leo, Sarah, and the other awakened became symbols of hope and resilience. They traveled across the globe, helping to restore order and inspire the newly liberated populations. The sound-based weapons were now being used to track down and neutralize the last pockets of Xalnaga resistance. One evening, as the sun set over a recovering New York City, Leo and Sarah stood atop a skyscraper, looking out over the bustling streets below. The city was coming back to life, its people determined to rebuild and move forward. "We did it," Leo said quietly, his eyes reflecting the city lights. "We actually did it." Sarah nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "We did, but it's just the beginning. We have to make sure something like this never happens again. We have to stay united." In the months that followed, humanity began to rebuild. The Awakened took on leadership roles, using their powers for the betterment of society. They helped reconstruct cities, developed new technologies, and worked to heal the planet. The memory of the Xalnaga invasion served as a stark reminder of humanity's resilience and the power of unity. The world had changed, but it had emerged stronger. The resistance had triumphed, and Earth was free once more. In a world forever altered, the Awakened continued to watch over humanity, ensuring that the sacrifices made during the war were never forgotten. They were guardians of a new era, a testament to the strength and indomitable spirit of humankind.